Colombia's President Gustavo Petro appointed Manuel Alberto Casanova as the new National Intelligence Director. In Bolivia, numerous indigenous farmer and social organizations rally in La Paz to support the government and democracy. And the People's Movement for the Liberation of Angola party leads over its main political challenger, the National Union for the Total Independence of Angola, as vote counting advances in that African nation. From the headquarters of TeleSUR English in Havana, Cuba, this is From the South. I'm your anchor, Gladys Quesada, and these are the news. The President of Colombia, Gustavo Petro, appointed the new National Intelligence Director, stressing the agency will be dedicated to fight corruption. As Petro announced, Manuel Alberto Casanova will be the new director of the organization. The president has outlined to him the roadmap that the state intelligence will have. He also highlighted the intelligence agency similarities with the Administrative Department of Security and also committed himself to analyze the conflicts between both agencies. The president ratified that the Intelligence Directorate will have the fundamental task of safeguarding national sovereignty and fighting corruption.
State intelligence is aimed at protecting sovereignty, at protecting rights and freedoms of citizens, and protecting from the dangers that may arise, and today its main objective, and I want to say this publicly, its main objective is to pursue corruption all over the country.
This Wednesday night, a new massacre was reported in Colombia. 3 people were killed in the department of Valle del Cauca in the southwest of the country. In the incident, which took place in the Ira neighborhood of the municipality of Buga, 1 person was also injured. Preliminary information indicates that several armed individuals entered the house and shot at the people who were in the main living room. The identities of the victims had not been revealed. It is only known that they are 2 men and a woman. It was also reported that the public prosecutor's office has started investigations into the incident.
The Department of Police at Valle reports that in the municipality of Buga, the homicide of 3 people was discovered inside a house. The event was a result of firearms. The National Police appointed a special criminal investigation team that articulated with the General Prosecutor's Office, hoping to capture those responsible for these unfortunate facts.
And there are developments in Mexico in the case of the Ayotzinapa missing students. On Wednesday night, at a hearing that went on for almost 12 hours, the judge linked the former Attorney General Jesus Murillo Caram to the case and remanded him to custody. Despite the fact that the defense had asked the judge to dismiss the evidence presented by the Attorney General's office, the judge ratified the charges. Thus, Murillo Caram will be subjected to criminal proceedings for obstruction of justice and the forced disappearance and torture in the case of the 43 Ayotzinapa students. At the hearing, Judge Marco Antonio Fuerte granted the prosecution 3 months to finish gathering complementary information. At the end of the hearing, the defense of the former prosecutor warned that they will be appealing the decision. And the health of the former president and senator of Paraguay, Fernando Lugo, improves. Doctors report that he is no longer sedated. According to the treating physician and fellow legislator Jorge Querey, the former president registers a daily improvement, still limited according to the information given on Wednesday. A good part of his condition is under control, and as of last Tuesday, he does not require sedation. However, he will continue under medical observation for 2 or 3 more days, which is the time established to know more clearly the situation and then start the rehabilitation. Mark Wells, the U.S. Deputy Assistant for Brazil and the Southern Hemisphere, arrived in Paraguay this Wednesday and held a meeting with several legislators of the South American nation. Also, Wells met with lawmakers addressing the complex situation between Washington and Asunción after the United States sanctioned former President Horacio Cartes and the last Vice President Hugo Velázquez for being significantly corrupt. Drug trafficking, corruption, and potential cooperation projects topped the agenda. The official warned that other measures were on the way. Upon leaving the meeting, Senator Jorge Queray said that they talk about institutional weakness.
We talked about the issue of money laundering. We talked about drug trafficking as well. We talked about the drug routes, the institutional fragility, and also their position with respect to these points, asking them basically about the money circuits, the drug trafficking circuits, and that of contraband.
We'll take a short break now. Join us again after this. Welcome back. Numerous indigenous, farmer, and social organizations gather in the city of La Paz, seat of the plurinational government of Bolivia, to participate in a march in support of the government and democracy. Representatives of the Pact of Unity and the Central Labor Union of Bolivia confirmed the arrival at the city of El Alto of numerous organizations that have traveled from different points of the national geography. This mobilization ratifies the popular rejection to demonstrations encouraged by those who in 2019 carried out a coup d'etat, whose consequences is still felt and the country is still recovering from. Ramiro Cucho, representative of the National Council of Ayllus, has said that they will defend the good governance to rescue the country.
A message for all our native indigenous peoples, a message for our youth to always look for unity to recover our economic stability, to recover the independence and sovereignty of all our peoples and our national state of Bolivia.
And facing a complex power situation, Cuba plans to recover its generating capacity through major investments in the local manufacturing of parts and equipment. Cuban Energy and Mines Minister Liana Ronte said this year the government plans to restore 489 megawatts currently lacking due to problems at thermoelectric power stations and along distribution lines. The Energy Minister said they are implementing new investment projects that will allow for the production of another 531 megawatts by late December this year. The minister said that despite difficulties, they have continued to work non-stop to restore energy generation to the safe levels. The minister made reference to some issues delaying such pre-profit reworks.
En julio del 2021, su caldera ha presentado inestabilidad y con frecuencia ha provocado la parada de la máquina. Ahora
The gradualness is because when you get financing, the financing we have, the delivery terms of each product, and the raw materials needed to resolve and manufacture in the country, because we have to say that the country is ready for the industry. It is ready to produce and manufacture most of the spare parts and components used in thermoelectric power plants nowadays. However, there are spare parts that we have to purchase because they are produced by the manufacturer of that kind of technology. And these parts have a very long delivery time, as I explained. For example, in Mariel 6, which is a unit that was affected, we purchased all the resources, but we have to wait 6 months to receive them.
And this Wednesday night, Alberto Fernandez, the president of Argentina, reappeared on television to support the innocence of Cristina Fernandez, accused by the prosecutor's office in the case known as Vialidad, or roadworks. The head of state, a legal expert, described the process as nonsense, marked by evident legal weakness. The prosecutor in the case, Domingo Luciani, based his case on the premise that there was no way for her not to know what was going on. The president recalled that the crimes of which Cristina Fernandez is accused require malice. That is, the certainty that the accused must have wanted to commit them. The president also said that he has been very careful when electing people to govern Argentina.
In this case, Cristina is not guilty of anything. I have no doubt. I have commented with her who is going to want to be president of Argentina next, if that person is going to be responsible for everything that happens under that government. At this moment, I have more than 100,000 people depending on me. What I say is that Cristina Kirchner did not commit any of the crimes that are attributed to her.
And in Spain, the T-shirts worn by Diego Armando Maradona in the final of the Mexico 1986 World Cup will be handed over to Argentina after 36 years and will remain in the Legends Museum, to be inaugurated in February 2023. The symbolic handover ceremony will be led by the German former player Lothar Matthäus, one of the stars of the finalist German team that received the piece from Maradona himself. In addition, the ceremony will be attended by Marcelo Ordaz, the president of Legends. Matthäus had owned the jersey since June 29, 1986, and will hand it over to the collectors in a ceremony held at the Argentine Embassy in Madrid and presided over by Ambassador Ricardo Alfonsín. Victor Hugo Morales will host the event, which will also be attended by the president of the AFA, Claudio Tapia, Oscar Mayo, the executive general manager of the league, partner of the Legends project, as well as the specialized press that will cover the event. And Peru's justice system admitted a lawsuit for $4.5 million from the Bolivian Consumer Protection Agency against the Spanish oil company Repsol and other companies linked to the spill of some 12,000 barrels of crude oil into the sea in January. The incident occurred on January 15th, while the Italian-flagged tanker Mer Doricum was unloaded crude oil at the La Pampilla refinery in Ventanilla Beach, 30 kilometers north of Lima and owned by Repsol. The oil company blamed the accident to the waves caused by the volcanic eruption on the island of Tonga on the other side of the Pacific Ocean, and the Peruvian government described it as an ecological disaster. The oil spill affected more than 700,000 inhabitants, mostly fishermen, and forced the closure of more than 20 beaches and dozens of businesses in the tourist areas. This leak spread through the waters and along the coasts of up to 140 kilometers north of the refinery, causing the death of an undetermined number of fish, birds, and marine mammals. On Wednesday, the U.S. administration scored a win when a judge in Idaho blocked a ban on abortion exceptions. The proposed ban will have made abortion illegal for victims of rape, incest, or life-threatening pregnancies requiring emergency care. But Judge Lynn Windmill rejected the ban, saying it will have been in violation of federal law that requires hospitals, which are part of the federally funded Medicare program, to provide medical assistance when a pregnant woman's life or health is in danger. Although Idaho may have a stringent abortion law, his ruling means that a doctor cannot be punished if they perform an abortion. Now we move on to other topics. The Russian Federal Security Service neutralized an attack in Kaliningrad, organized by the Ukrainian terrorist organization Azov, which targeted, among other things, the armored Baltic Fleet. In the operation, agents detained an Azov battalion supporter, in addition to getting his statement about his intentions to attack the Krabrovo airport and the personnel of the military base of the Russian Air Force. They seized improvised explosives with TNT, plans, and other documents. The Azov battalion is an organization known worldwide for promoting Nazism and is also linked to the recent murder of Russian journalist Daria Dugina. And we have more news coming up after a final short break, so stay with us. Welcome back to From the South. As a third of the vote results in Angola's parliamentary elections are released, the People's Movement for the Liberation of Angola party took a commanding lead over its main political challenger, the National Union for the Total Independence of Angola. Preliminary results published by the Electoral Commission gave the MPLA party 60.65% of the vote, with 33% of the ballots counted. The main opposition, the National Union for the Total Independence of Angola, UNITA, led by Adalberto Costa Jr., was at 33.85%. The MPLA has ruled Angola for nearly 50 years after the country gained independence from Portugal. The election was being overshadowed by a struggling economy, inflation, poverty, and drought. More than 14 million people were registered and to vote in this electoral process. And the Syrian Deputy Foreign Expatriates Minister Bashar al-Jafari received South African Deputy Minister of International Relations and Cooperation Candice Mashego Dlamini at the Judet-Yabus border crossing. Talks focus on the willingness of the two countries' leaderships to enhance bilateral relations at their levels, especially that the joint historical relations between the two states and peoples constitute a cornerstone in pushing the bilateral relations forward. The two sides also stress the importance of maintaining political and diplomatic coordination and cooperation in international forums. And we have come to the end of this news brief. But remember, you can find this and many other stories on our website at telesurenglish.net. And also, if you feel so inclined, please join us on social media for all the latest news. We are on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and Telegram. And now you can also follow us on TikTok account at Telesur English, in which you will be able to see news in different formats, news updates, and more. For Telesur English, I'm Gladys Quesada. Thank you for watching.